Right, so we extend main activity and then, oh no, I'm sorry, I have to extend the app compact activity, right? Which is going to import, right, the Android.support version 7 app, right? App compact activity in. And that's method that I need to override, which is the on create, right? And use bundle save instant state, right? So right, and we're gonna add the override to, and bundle is something that we need to import, right? So it's under Android.os bundle. Now, annotation override is just to make sure that our intention is we try to use the method on create from this class. That's what it means. So it's going to make sure we do that. Okay. So now you're gonna learn that more in tool 1, the concept of inheritance come in. For now, just use that. And we just say on the create, right? We just call save instant state, right? And then we start to create a XML now. Under layout, we're gonna create a new you see they have a template for you to see XML layout, right? And layout file name, I'm gonna call it activity40 car, right? Okay, so it start to give you the view like that, right? And let's say we're going to use text field. Let's use plain text. Okay. Now same, we have to give ID to it, right? Edit text to, right? So I'm going to call. We could actually use label too, right? So let's put some label. Label pretty much just the text, right? Text view itself. Okay. So it's just kind of small here. So now this is the edit text. I'm going to name it as car text, right? So I'm going to show you maybe only one first, my car, right? And this is edit text, right? And this is the label, which is text view. I'm going to name it my car text view. Okay. And the text, I'm going to just put values like my car, right? All right. So now we're going to link this, okay, this edit text, right? My car edit text to our code here on car activity here. How to link that? It's just we gotta use the file view by ID, but we also want to set content view, right, of this, right? So if you remember JavaX, you have to create, right, scene, right, and you have to have primary stage, right, things like that. But this one just set content view, like it's just like the whole view, like scene and primary stage, something like that all together. by just link to the, it's just make it easy. Whatever you see on that layout, right, activity card, it's just show up right here instead of doing like scene, primary state, new primary state, scene, new scene, right, and add them into like set, right. Then this one will do it for you. You just drag and drop on this part, right, and whatever you have layout here, it's just show right there, right away. Okay. So before we move further, so let's just I'm going to run this. Okay. Let me right click and run this car activity instead. Otherwise it may jump to main when I do that. So if I run this now, that's an error because your new activity is not included in Android manifest, which is the top out here. Like now I have login activity, right, which is included, and I have main activity, which is here, but no car activity here because I happen to create a new class, right? So the better way to do, you actually just go to new activity instead, right? And you can say this is a basic, right? But if you want to scroll, so navigate, so we have those, right? So I'm going to do the basic first. And let's do this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just delete this one, okay? But I just try to show you a little bit how it works. It's just a JavaClass. But now to create that, it's going to be easier just, right, use new activity like there, because it's going to include that into Android manifest for you. You don't have to write your own code, right? So we're going to do car. Okay, I'm just going to leave the rest as default. You can make it as a launcher too, right? And then if you look at this, it's pretty much the same. It's just create everything for you, right? So it's going to do the code that we were typing earlier for you. So let's look at, see that? So all the code pretty much just generated and create for you in here. Alright, so if you look at the manifest, it's just add for you the car activity here. See that? So now you technically can just do this, right, in the one that is created for you, content car, right? So you can just do the same, right? So text wheel and plain text, right? Because it's being linked for you already. So because if you pretty much do manually, you have to write the code manually too in your Android manifest, which if you're doing this way, it's just creating for you. Okay, so before we move it further, so just see, I'm going to run this code first, car activity, right? And see if we are able to run, right? Okay, it's running now, right? So not like last time, you have to include the code. If you do manually, you have to write the code manually. Alright, so now let's look at the code, pretty much the same here. We extend app right? Compact. You see on create, right? And do set content view, right? To activity card. Right, activity card 2, right? So that means actually it's looking at this one, right? Activity card 2, right? So it's looking at this one. Right? So you see that text view and name that we just created, right? Now if we make change to that, we just go here, right? And first, how do we link it to, right? That's the question. We want to link this to our code, so we have to keep the ID. So that's why we want to make change here, right? So that's the top, that's the toolbar, right? I try to click on. Now, if you look at the XML itself, right? So that's the XML. Pretty much this is the file that create that layout for you, right? So if you read, so this is pretty much just the one that do the screen. First starting from the width, the height, right? And we have context like tools. Pretty much it's just write the code. So that's the design, and this is the XML. Now I want to show you the code that I create, right? I have it under activity main, right? So activity main, I have, like, I name greeting text, which is the ID here, and edit text, I name edit text here, like the same concept that I showed you earlier, that you can just develop from each activities. But I want to show the code that I already have here, which is in main activity here. So I pretty much do the same here. Like after the set content view, it's just bring the activity main screen to show instead, right? And then I name greeting text, which is the ID here. So use file view by ID is going to cast as text view, and this is the instance name greeting text view, right? Refer to that object that I linked to, right, on the XML. And same edit text is referred to the object that I linked to for the second one, right, which is edit text. Now greeting text view.append, I can just make the code to show word welcome and the code to say welcome, right, to CSC200 class, and start to use the car object that I created, right, with create new car, his car, her car, right, according to the question 5.2, and do the toString here, append to the text, and do equals method that compare if two cars are equals. Change the colors, set the colors to off them to blue, and set to Ferrari to make to, right, to Ferrari, and set engine size to 6.5, set horsepower to 650, just like what we did before. And then I just output the output to greeting text view.append, right, by the getters or the getters of each, my car, his car, and her car. And then I do, instead of do if else that you compare like you do in 5.2, you can just do her car.equals and pass my car. It's going to return true or false. And lastly, car, you may see that when you have statics, you don't have to do instantiate, right, to get count. You just call car class dot get count. So it's going to return. So when you do that, it's going to return 3 cars back and show on the screen. Right, so if I run this program, it's pretty much just going to show on our main activity here. The code is just shown on the screen on text view. right? And edit text, I just set the